History has missed giving its dues to the man, the star, the key player who led us not into one, not two, but three major victories that impacted and shaped the topographic map of the country and our neighbors. Native of Churu, Rajasthan, he commenced his military career through humble beginnings in Bikaner State Force. His remarkable rise from the ranks, with only a smattering knowledge of English, to one of the top ranks in the ladder of leadership. A brilliant tactician, strategist, known for his unconventional creativity, leadership, and epitome of combat leaders who led from the front. Though he did not reach the top military ladder, but he is better known than those who did. That was Lieutenant General Sagat Singh.
A journal who gained notoriety in the foreign land of Lisbon, Portugal, to the extent where his posters displayed his photos signed with the insignia of wanted. So vast was the paraphernalia of his contribution that we'll be dividing the video into three parts.
Sagat Singh, while being promoted as brigadier, was handed over command of 5th Para at Agra in September 1961. It was quite unprecedented that he was not a paratrooper, over 40 years old at the wrong side of age, and a very few had started jumping at that age. The road to winning the wings was a tough one, but he fought against all odds and performed his jumps even twice a day from incredible heights and got his wings in record time. His genius as a combat leader during the Goa operation became apparent, his tactics brilliant, and ability to seize the opportunity in battles were qualities that were rare and unique. Goa had always played a prominent role in West India as a significant trade route. In ancient times, it was ruled by King Ashok, Bhoja, in medieval period by Kadamba Empire, Vijayanagara Empire, ruled by the Brahmani Sultans. In 1510, Alfonso de Albuquerque took about 2 attempts establishing the foundation of the Portuguese rule in India. Of the 3 Portuguese enclave in India, Goa was the largest area of 3,635 square kilometers, and the population was about 600,000, which over about half was Hindus.
Dadar and Nagar Haveli had an area of 213 square kilometers and a population of about 60,000. Diu was even smaller, measuring around 39 kilometers with a population of about 20,000. As in the rest of India, freedom movement had sprung up in these colonies, and when the British left in 1947, the demand for independence by the people of Goa also intensified. In July 1954, volunteers of United Front of Goans liberated Dadar and Nagar Haveli. A year later, on 15th August 1955, around 3,000 people entered Goa to offer satyagraha, which is a non-violent form of protest practiced by followers of Mahatma Gandhi. The police opened fire, killing, wounding a large number of peaceful protesters. This led to a wave of anger and desperation among the Indian people. It intensified pressure on Indian government to liberate Goa, raising a call to be integrated to the independent India.
When the issue was raised in the United Nations in 1960s, Portugal rejected all offers made by the Indian government and refused to provide any information about its colony. In 1961, United Nations condemned Portuguese, asking all member states to deny any help to Portugal. The Portuguese opened fire on the Indian vessel SS Sabarmati, wounding the chief engineer. This initiated action on part of the Indian government. On 30th November 1961, the government of India took the decision to liberate Goa and all the areas under Portuguese control through a combined operation involving all the 3 services.
On 29th November 1961, Sagat received a telephonic call from the Director of Military Operations at Army Headquarters. He was asked to report in Delhi at Army Headquarters, and he was there within an hour. It's here he learnt about the operation to liberate Goa and his role in it. He spent next few hours carrying an in-depth study on the terrain and acquainting himself on the brief history of Goa. His battalion force was to be used for airborne role. Time and riverine were to be of the main consideration. Sagat suggested that 2 para be dropped at night in Ponta Areas so that Sanklin, Bicholim, Usgaon and Kandipa, the river bodies, which were posing as obstruction, would be covered over. Besides, the structure of terrain in Goa tilted in favor of the defender. Also, there was prohibition imposed from use of armor due to the large number of rivers and inland creeks.
The code name was Vijay and the plan was for 14 December 1961. General J.N. Chaudhary, GOC of the Southern Command, was entrusted with the task in order to foster international intervention and prevent reinforcement from the Portuguese reaching Goa. It was essential for the operation to be quick and decisive. After a quick appreciation, General Chaudhary decided to mount two attacks. The main force, comprising of the 17th Infantry Division, was to move into Goa from the east, while the 50th Parachute Brigade, under Brigadier Sagat Singh, was to mount subsidiary thrust from the north. Major General K.P. Chandel, GOC's 17th Infantry Division, was placed in an overall command of the full task force.
The British were extremely anti-India and went all out to support Portugal, their oldest ally. A leading newspaper had headline, "Nehru, the sanctimonious bully," was widely telecasted in BBC television. 3 days prior to the D-Day, after Sagat went through his plan for the operation with selective senior officers. At the end of the presentation, the army commander expressed his reservation. He felt Sagat's timings were too optimistic and it may not be possible to keep up to them. But Sagat insisted they were feasible. Officers well familiar with Sagat supported him and he was allowed to proceed with the plan. His tactical, speedy, bold approach played a vital role.
A commander with hawk eyes to exploit opportunities in the battlefield. Though the operation was commenced on the night of 19 December, Sagat Singh decided to launch fighting previous night to overcome border outposts. It was the speed of advance that had altered the game, and the credit went to Sagat Singh and his troops. At the tactical headquarters of the Southern Command, a wireless interception indicating that the Portuguese Governor General Manuel Antonio Veslia Il Silvia was called for a meeting 800 hours early in the morning to consider surrender. The battle had been won. Thus, the coastal state of Goa was liberated on December 19, 1961 after 451 years of the Portuguese rule. While Operation Vijay was a full-fledged military operation for the participating troops, the Indian government, however, called it a police action. Several officers, including Sagat Singh, were recommended for the Gallantry Award. But Krishna Menon, who was the defense minister, ruled out, saying that it was a police action, so no awards could be given.
By the middle of June 1962, one day Sagat was at Charles Shiraj Hotel in civil clothes. Also present was a group of American tourists who kept looking at him intently. Finally, one of them came up to him and asked him if he was Brigadier Singh. Brigadier Sagat Singh replied, "Yes, but how did you recognize me?" The American replied, "I have just returned from Lisbon, and in most of the cafes and restaurants, your picture is stuck with a caption. Anyone who captures and hands you over to the Portuguese government would be awarded with $10,000. That was General Sagat Singh Rathod.